Hello everyone, that Manga Kid here to do a full series review of Shortcake Cake by Suu Morishita. This is a Viz release under their Shoujo Beat imprint. This is a long time coming. I did start collecting this series, I believe, when only the first volume or two was out. I think I bought volume 1 and then immediately bought volume 2, and then from there was buying them as they were coming out. And this is one that I remember being like seeing this cover and being intrigued by the artwork and being like, well, you know, it's another shoujo series. I do enjoy romance stuff, so maybe I'll check it out. I remembered it was a boarding house story, and you know, I typically like boarding house kind of stories, and went, okay, well, I'll give it a try. Ten, who is our main character, she's just so, especially right at the beginning, she was so fascinating to me. So our story begins. Ten lives up in the mountains. She attends high school, and it takes her like hours to commute every day because she's up in a rural area, and her friend says, you know, she's feeling left out. She can't join any clubs. She really can't hang out with her friends after school because she has to get home, because it takes her hours to get home. So she needs to get on the train and leave immediately. And so her friend says, you know, I live in this boarding house. It's a co-ed boarding house near the school. You'd be able to participate in high school life if you come and live with us and move in. There's an extra room right now. And so she goes, you know, come by, check it out, see what's up. So she comes by. Sure enough, it is a co-ed boarding house. And not only that, it's not a boarding house specific to their school. So there are students there, there are students there that go to other high schools. So you have a mixture of ages, you have a mixture of boys and girls, and then you also have the fact that they don't all attend the same school, which is a fun dynamic. And so, yeah, she kind of falls in love immediately with the house itself. It's very charming. She also falls in love immediately with the other tenants. She kind of is intrigued by these boys that live there, and then her friend obviously lives there as well. The other females seem pretty cool, so she makes the decision pretty much immediately to move in. And so she meets Chiaki, who is... I guess I'll show you this cover because it's got the two of them on it. The hair colors change, and it kind of drives me nuts. Side note, you can see that their hair colors are different, and it drives me nuts because I can't really tell who's who, honestly. Like, I think that's Chiaki, but it could be Riku. Honestly, I don't know. Riku usually has red hair, and Chiaki usually has the green hair. But then on this cover, nobody has green hair. So I'm just not really sure who I'm looking at. But anyway, she meets Chiaki, who is this kind of quiet boy who reads a lot, doesn't seem to like girls very much. And then she also meets Riku, who is the suave private school rich kid living in the boarding house. And he's a womanizer. He's with a bunch of different girls. But anyway, she's immediately intrigued by Chiaki because he's very quiet. He's very interesting and kind. And then she's kind of pissed at Riku because he continually seems to be, you know, breaking girls' hearts and messing around with people and whatever. I love when Ten wears the beanie. I just think that she's so cute. The art is adorable. The characters in here are adorable. Their eyes, their hair, like everything about them is just really beautiful. The fashion is really nice because they have their school uniforms, but then they also have all of their leisure wear, which you do see a lot of because they live together. This series is a lot of fun. Now, it does go in a drama sort of direction. It still keeps the comedy, but there is a lot of drama, family drama, and backstories, and you know, childhood trauma of one character in particular. And so it is a love triangle as well. So if you like love triangles, this one may be for you. What I really, really enjoyed is the personalities of these characters are so different. And I also like that they stepped outside of the mold of their characters a little bit. They weren't one-dimensional. 10 is very, like, assertive. For a young, 15 or 16-year-old, however old she is, she's very kind of independent and is having trouble sorting out her feelings, not because she doesn't know who she likes, like who she has romantic feelings for, but because she knows that other people have romantic feelings for her, and she doesn't really know how to tell them, I don't like you in that way, but I really enjoy your company and like you as a person. And it's not a slight to you that I didn't choose you. It's just that I can't control my feelings. And unfortunately, my feelings are not for you. And I think that there's a delicacy here for this love triangle, because these boys are friends. And they weren't really friends before, so it's not like they've been friends forever and now they're fighting over a girl. They kind of become friends as they fight for the affections of this girl. And we see that it is in fact possible to let it go. To let the girl choose who she chooses and not be an asshole about it. That you're not the one who was chosen, because your love for both the girl and your friend supersedes your romantic feelings, that, inevitably you will move on at some point and find somebody else. And I think that that's the saving grace of this story, is not just the fun boarding house dynamic, but also the characters and the way that they handle the situations they're in, and particularly the friendship between the boys who are fighting for Ten's affections. By far, Chiaki is one of my favorite characters that I've read in a while. He is so... he's the quiet, studious one at the beginning, but as the story goes on and he kind of opens up to the people in the boarding house, he becomes this, goofy, emotional, but I thought we were buddies. You're my buddy kind of guy. And he's so cute. I think it's the friendship between him and Riku and him and Ten, and just, he kind of grows up, and watching this kid grow up, watching them all grow up, because they're all learning new things. They're all learning about themselves and each other and how to exist in relationships with other people. It's a fun ride to watch these kids, mature a bit. And what I really like, at the end of every volume, unfortunately no color pages, but at the end of every volume you get these fun, this one has a lot in particular actually, these fun drawings of, I guess they were the magazine covers or the cover pages in the magazine that the thing originally aired in or published in. But yeah, it includes at the end of every volume a bunch of those kind of full page spread photos that are really cute and usually pretty fashionable, and it's a lot of fun. There's that one there, super fun. But yeah, the art is great. My issue with it is, and if you go back to my haul video, I don't remember which one it was, but my haul videos as I was picking this up, around this 7-8 volume mark, I made a comment about the art and how it had shifted in a way I did not like, and I couldn't tell what the difference was, but there was something different about the character designs and the way that they were being drawn that I didn't like. Because I thought they were so beautiful in the beginning of the series, and I was like, I don't understand what happened here. Turns out, in reading the author's notes, because this is a team of 2 people, I think it's just 2. Reading the notes at the back of the final volume, at volume 7, they switched over to only digital drawing, computer stuff rather than like drawing by hand, because it was a mixture of digital and hand drawing at the beginning of the series, and then they switched over completely to digital in volume 7, and that was around the time that I was noticing that I didn't like the artwork very much of the characters' designs. There was something different about the hair and the eyes and the weight and the shapes of their faces and like the proportions of their bodies that changed that I really didn't like, that I did notice, and noticed enough to mention it in a video as I was picking the series up, and noticed enough that like I was reading these volume to volume as they came out. So with months in between, when I picked up the volume and read it, I went, there's something different about these characters and the way they look, and I don't like it. So unfortunately for me personally, I don't know if anybody else will feel that way, but for me personally, I thought that the switch to the digital art only really impacted negatively the designs of the characters. But again, that's a personal preference. So you may end up liking it better in the second half, or you may not even notice. But for me, it was quite a drastic difference because I loved the artwork so much at the beginning, and it was something that really pulled me in. Either way, if you like boarding house stories and you want a little bit of drama with some humor, love triangle, different, like a high school age, but no high school scenes, because everything takes place outside of the school itself, because only a couple of them go to the same school, but the rest of the boarding house folks go to a different school. So yeah, it's about friendship and love and family and what that all means, and how young people, try to fragment their lives so that they don't have to handle any sadness or anger or something they may have towards someone else from their past. And it's, trying to bring these 10 comes into this house and unites the people in the house and brings something out of them that wasn't there before. And then she also, I don't want to use the word forces, but she brings out the past of some of these characters and helps them reunite and rekindle old relationships with family members, and she just kind of brings a light to their lives that they didn't know they were missing. And it's really sweet and heartwarming, and I could, not gonna lie, I could care less about the family drama aspect. That was my least favorite part of the story. I would have been perfectly content with a simple rom-com boarding house thing. I want a whole story about Chiaki, to be completely fair. I want him to be the main character. I love 10, but I could do a whole spin-off of just Chiaki's state of mental bliss when he's just hanging out with Riku. That's what I want, is the buddy comedy of Riku and Chiaki. But yeah, I really did enjoy this, and I will read it again, and I do recommend that you pick it up. But yeah, I have not yet read A Sign of Affection, which I'm very much looking forward to doing at some point in the near future. But I obviously that one is pretty popular. I hear a lot of people talking about it, so hopefully if you're reading that one and you have not checked out Shortcake, it might be nice to see one of Suu Morishita's other works. So anyway, if you've read this, I'd like to hear your thoughts. I'd like to hear your thoughts about the art in particular, if anybody else noticed the change in the artwork. And then, yeah, who's your favorite character? Because there's a lot of gems in this series. There's a whole lot of gems. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching.